8:21. It's time for Island Tea, and for all the folks wondering if something went wrong today, no, we just had an extra long newscast. That's all. Lots of news, and as you know, the weekend edition of the news is always the weekend review. We had a lot of stuff happening last week, and we had to recap that here on the WINNMedia News. And it's time for Island Tea. Good morning, guys. We got a full house today. We got Michelina, we got Kay, and we have AZ, my man.
Good morning,
Hey, good morning to everybody. We're trusting and hoping that everyone is having a beautiful Monday morning so far. It's a bit rainy, but hopefully all is well. We have here Michelina and Kortensia. For the first time, the three of us are in studio at the same time.
Same place, same time?
Yeah. And I want to hear from the listening audience. If you would like to see more of the three of us, tell us what you would like. Call in and tell us, meet us on the road and tell us, or tell us on the wall. What do you think about 3 instead of 2?
So did you manage to drag her into the Church of Pam on the weekend? No.
No, I
No.
didn't.
I had another engagement that was free
okay.
red wine,
Okay.
and I weighed free red wine and sushi over paid Pam.
Okay.
But soon
And,
though.
and one of them is red, so that's good.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
You know, I want Azard to give me an official invitation for a Pam event though, because I've never received an invitation, and I think Pam invited me to something would make me feel very special.
Make sure you put your antihistamines in your bag.
Oh
I
my
am
God.
going to invite her because
Take care of those allergies.
She really needs some,
Need
I-
some exposure.
Yeah, and I think, when you look at the People's Action Movement, it's always bright, it's always sunny, and,
Aww.
to have that brightness and cheer, Mishi, I think that would be an excellent experience.
Yeah, somebody asked me the other day, like, who's my favorite Pam friend? And I was like,
Can't people just have friends?
Yeah, but it's very important for you to have a good Pam friend, and a good PLP friend, and a good Labour friend.
So, I want to know who's your good Pam friend.
by default, because he's in studio, it would be Azard. Like out in the street, I have like a real other, favorite Pam friend.
Okay,
if she'd never called my name in studio, I would have really looked at her differently.
Yeah. Cheers to that.
Oh boy.
So he gets, and I think Kortensia is the independent voter in the room. She
definitely
is the independent voter.
Oh.
I don't think she's known to have a party.
No.
Yes.
A responsible voter. So we
Very
have to
responsible.
canvass for this one.
Yes,
Right.
we really have to.
Lord, they're working on me already in the morning. It's not good.
Kortensia, I always see you, that skin tone, everything goes wonderful in yellow.
Yes, I wore red and yellow the other day. So I said,
There
you
you
see how the
go.
combination look nice? You'd be like, that yellow looks good. Mind you, he didn't comment on the red.
That's okay. That's okay.
They had all of us in red, didn't they?
I saw somebody said that red polo looked good on you on Facebook.
Yeah, and I chimed in. I was like, especially dapper. But listening audience, I think he actually had to go and buy that red shirt. I don't think he actually has red in his pocket.
He's been let out this morning.
Yeah. And I think like he fold it up, when you don't like something, you fold it up and put it in the corner. If I had to bet, I would bet that's
But to
fold
be
up.
fair, he always wears that red rose on his lapel. So
Okay, so we'll give him
Yeah,
a red.
yeah.
We'll give him a tip
Yeah.
of red.
I have a tip.
You know what I think it is?
inclusive.
I think it's microdosing. You know how they do microdosing, so you can overcome allergies and so on. So that's probably what it is. Like
Little by little.
you just really
I just want you to know, Azad, like I'm not on the party executive anymore. Yeah, I'm not sure I could speak for the party. They're probably having a seance for me.
seance.
But I'm sure. I'm just saying, they're probably like, yeah, man, they're probably like that Michelina. But I'm sure we're an inclusive party. We have a broad tent, and we would like to welcome you to all things.
Yes.
Okay, if I
You
get
can't come on mine, you can't say Michelina send you. They might not let you in, but
so who do I go?
I don't know.
So you no
need to
longer have a good
credible
labor friend.
I'm his good labor friend. I'm not sure if the party would take my
Okay.
ticket for entrance.
To be like Michelina.
But he does seem to have a good relationship with like Gath and
Sip
Samal and
tea.
so
Let-
on.
let
So
me sip
that's
tea.
good.
I mean, I am a friendly person, and I think when we look at politics, we do support our, different parties.
I must say, I think ever so slowly we're creeping away from that kind of toxic partisanship thing.
I think
Ever,
we
maybe
here
too
are-
slowly, but still, it's
We
still.
here are also like changing the culture, because I feel like I'm a comrade without a king. I feel like I'm a labor, but I'm an independent thinking labor, and I get to dictate what my loyalty is, and I'm not here to demagogue anybody or any policy in and for the party anymore. Like Friday, I said I burnt my Momo jersey. You know, I was a comrade. I think I was a very Momo and loyal comrade. I paid the price for that, so I burnt the jersey and I burnt the boots, and I'm no longer Momo. No longer.
But you're still a comrade.
Definitely a
Yeah.
different kind of comrade.
Mm-hmm.
Past 5 sexy comrade.
Wow, yes. Awesome.
Eyes wide open, comrade.
Cheers. You could cheers with tea. I don't think you could cheers with tea. I don't think you could cheers with tea. But you know, I'm just gonna cheers to that.
Oh boy.
But I was captain of the Momo comrades. It was just me alone in the platoon.
Oh boy.
You know, so I relieved myself.
But I'm sure there are others still.
I am not going there. Okay, you would not make my labor people come for me. I don't know. I was captain. I was foot soldier. I was lieutenant. I was everything. I am accountable to my supposed and past momoness. Me putting that on nobody. Don't let them come for you. There's a lot of comrades in this is a labor strong country. Don't let them come for you.
You're like an Azard spilled tea and all.
Well, they wouldn't come for me because
You're
I
making him
said, you
spill
play
tea.
that tape deal.
Oh, boy.
I call my own name.
Wait, y'all have sugar in the tea or? No. Seriously, I was just wondering.
No.
Okay.
We
We know
don't-
we should get some honey. Can you use honey, Kay?
Can you?
Can you use honey?
You can if you
No,
will.
mean you.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I don't
Okay.
really. I try
Okay.
to avoid
She
it.
is sweet enough, Jamster.
Okay. So y'all be drinking the tea without
Yeah.
without
no,
sugar?
sure, yeah.
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
best way to have your tea.
Yeah, all the time.
I do it sometimes, but
Mm.
no.
And we've had a slice of lime in it as well.
Lemon,
Oh, you
sir.
find
lemons,
yeah.
Lemon.
sauce,
Big
yes.
difference.
Yes, there
Big
is.
Because
difference.
it's better with lemon.
Yes, yes.
And you know the lemons are yellow. So.
Listen! Azad is not going to let anything slip today.
Y'all should give him the MVP award for the year, okay? Because the lemons are yellow. I don't understand.
And
I don't understand.
even the writings on Missy shirt, they're yellow. The
MCH
glasses
brand,
on her
hello.
face.
I see she's microdosing too to overcome the
Yellow and maroon.
yeah.
And tell all your men in the moment section no more. I'm going up the boots.
Okay, guys.
No, that's pink. That's
it-
pink.
It's close enough to red. That is lapel. I see it. It's close enough to red. Pink is
boy.
red with white in it.
Oh, boy.
So guys, it was a good opening. We have our first guest. We have Traffic Talk, and we hope persons they stick and stay as we get ready with Inspector Phipps talking about traffic
Yep.
as we do it every week.
Yep.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode. Attention all drivers. I'm begging you to slow it down, slow it
8:31, it's time for Traffic Talk. And it's brought to you by Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Good morning. We've got Inspector Phipps in studio. Good morning.
Inspector Phipps, you could hear?
Okay, all you have to do is just unplug it and put it in another socket. It should be fine. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we have Inspector and Inspector.
I'm not hearing to this either.
Wow.
Maybe something. I
Yeah.
was hearing perfectly, but nothing going on.
Okay, so what we could do, Inspector, you could
All you
perhaps
need, all you need to do is just
just
change
indicate
the socket. Yeah.
indicate to us of the topic, and you could begin, and we'll try to figure it out.
Good morning, all. Once again, I'm here. I'm so happy to be with all of you. This morning, we'll speak on causes of accidents, or things that drivers do that causes accidents. And as we all aware that we are 3/4 or halfway into the festive season.
In and out, ain't working. It's okay, don't distract me. We need to have confidence.
As I said, causes of road accident. Road accident is one of the most unwanted things to happen to any road users, even though it happens quite often. Most of the time, we don't learn from our own mistakes as drivers on the road. We are all aware of the general rules and safety measures while using the roads, but we as drivers tend to disregard, and as such, accident happens. Main causes of accidents are due to human errors. And so, some of the things that we drivers do, and I would mention, for example, speeding, drunk driving, distraction to drivers, running the traffic lights or failing to comply with the traffic signals, and avoiding safety gear such as seat belts and helmet. Speeding. Most of the times, fatal accidents occur due to overspeeding. When someone exceeds the speed limit, the driver drives recklessly, and the risk of accident is highly likely to occur. What we as drivers don't take into consideration are that once we excel or accelerate the vehicle, we'll need a greater distance to come to a stop and tends to skid and overturn before it comes to a rest. Also, a vehicle moving at a high speed will have a greater impact during an accident and causes more injuries. Because some of us, we just going from, let's say, from maybe old road to virtuals, and we tend to exceed the speed limit, and our line of sight is not there, and we tend to overtake, and then you see a vehicle approaching you, you want to stop because you have up so much speed, you lost control of that vehicle, the vehicle starts to skid, and then it overturns. Also, we love to party. So drunk driving.
It is the season to party too.
Consumption of alcohol at parties or some form of celebration is common to all. But when mixed with driving, it's a total disaster. It turns all partying and celebration into mishaps and misfortune. Drink and driving, alcohol reduces concentration. It decreases reaction time. It makes you react slower. Your vision tends to get blurry. It dampens fear and incite as drivers to take risk. All these factors causes accidents and can prove as fatal. So if you drink and drive and all these things happen, and once an accident happens, it could be fatal. Distracted driving. One may feel or think that distracting driving is minor. It's not important. And distractive driving doesn't have to be just on the outside of your vehicle. It can also be it's on the inside of the vehicle as well. Because maybe a lady might be driving her vehicle, and my good friend here on my right is in front, and the driver is so taken up with him and her conversation that he loses all sense and focus, and things happen. Yeah, it's serious. Right? This can happen outside or inside the vehicle, as I stated. One major distraction is driving and using your mobile phone. Driving and talking on your phone tends to occupy the brains and to occupy the major part of the brains, and the smaller portion will control the driving. It all depends on what is being said. You tend to lose focus, you forget you are driving, and things happen. We have serious crashes and causes accidents. Some of us, and my good friend Miss Charles, she always speak of it, person avoiding safety gear such as the seat belt and helmets. The use of the seat belts and helmets are mandatory, and it is ticketable. We also can report you for the offense. Wearing your seat belt and helmet, these two reduces the severity of injuries during an accident. It doubles the chance of survival in serious accidents. You know, once you have on your helmet and you fall, it's protect the head. The seat belt protect you from going through the windscreen or being thrown out of your vehicle. Wearing your seatbelt helps to keep you intact and safe in the case of an accident. As I said, you will not be thrown from your vehicle. Also, failing to obey traffic signals and traffic lights. Traffic signals are designed to ensure an orderly flow of traffic, provide an opportunity for pedestrians or vehicles to cross an intersection, and help reduces the number of conflicts between vehicles entering the intersections from different directions. And so once you enter, I love the traffic signals, because once you enter, you get out easily. Once you understand the lights and the direction in which everyone will get out, there should be no conflict whatsoever. When a driver fails to comply with the traffic signals, not only he put his life in danger, but he also put other road users' life in danger. As I said this, if you are traveling from 4th Street, yes, you're coming up, you have that green, and then maybe when you reach as far as Big Sale, by then the light will turn. And you, drivers, sometimes still continue, but you're underestimating the speed from the Keon Street direction, because you don't know how fast, because that person now have the green, and you don't know how fast that person is coming down. So that's when you come out now, both vehicle clash, because you fail to comply with the traffic signal. If it said red, stop. If it's on the green, you proceed. All right? For any driver to run a red light, of course, as I said, you must accelerate. You must have up some form of speed. And doing this hamper you, the driver, ability to judge the speed of the oncoming vehicle. And this tends to cause accidents, and it is likely that persons will be injured, and sometimes it might be turned out as fatal. We all know that accident is not planned. So you have to drive for me, Azard, Miss Charles, and my good friend. That's right. And so as I said before, this is a festive season.
Yes.
And I think it is fitting that I go over these topics in a different point of view, so that persons could see, yes, she probably spoke of it before, but then she spoke of it today, and it's in a different directions.
I think we have a culture, the festive culture is, we take in a little bit more rum. People who don't drink and don't have a tolerance for alcohol, there's a lot of rum in the cake. So
Only in the cake, but for those that are joining the Juve troops and those that are
I
going
don't
to go
think
live
those
with
would
their
be
friends.
driving. They would have Uber drivers.
Let's hope.
And they would have safe drivers.
Let's
Our
hope.
carnival revelers will be super responsible.
I really hope they are this year because I don't
I'm
want to
voting
hear
for them.
anybody. Yeah.
I'll be home.
Guys, we have a
But I'm
call.
voting for them.
Traffic talk caller. Go right ahead.
Hey, good morning,
Hey,
Jamster.
good morning. Hey, what's up?
Morning,
Morning,
Miss Anna.
Inspector. How are you today?
Good morning, I'm good.
Good morning to all the other panelists.
Good morning.
morning.
Good morning,
Yes,
Sylvie.
giving
How are
God
you?
thanks. I look forward to Mondays,
Oh, gosh.
to hear your voices, you see?
Thanks, Sylvie.
Yes, it brighten my day. I
Thank
can't
you.
see. So when I hear you, I feel like I'm in the room with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, and I am asking somebody please to contribute some new equipment to Win FM.
Bless the Lord, Sylvie. Bless the Lord for you.
Yeah, the Christmas gift all of us look forward to. I used to come to since 2010 and whatnot, having all these mic and some problems. So all the members of the board, we need new equipment.
Lord,
Now,
Sylvie,
I
I
was
thought you want
asked to
outside
make an appeal
sponsorship.
to the traffic officer, who in turn will contact the manager of the public works. Now, the officer spoke about things that could create accident. I live on Neverson Street East. Those of you who used to come for your license up here in the narrow road, that goes into Pond Road, which I call a highway. Right? The speed across the road like a highway. Now, I was told that there are many deep potholes on Pond Road that are causing a lot of concern. So that some of them deep. One is actually, they said, on the corner of Pond Road and my street. And people turning the corner or coming across, their vehicle dropping into the hole. Motorcyclists have difficulty because sometimes they don't anticipate. And what happens is because the traffic is usually so steady and fast on that road, sometimes when they go into the hole, or if they try to steer off from these potholes, they like it to run into the person on the other side of the road. So I would like you, are you aware of these potholes on Pan Road? Officer.
Yes, Miss Henry. And also, public works are, somewhat fixing the roads. So they know of the areas, and as we go along and persons call, I always take note of them and then call the...
Please remind the gentleman from
Yes.
Public Works.
Yes, I will.
Because as you say, a lot of the functions them that be held across, Riggy Bear, whatever, and they're coming across, they will have drunk or sleepy, and run into these holes or trying to avoid them, swerve into other vehicles. And I don't want to hear anybody get hurt for the Christmas because I have people who drive. So please, what's the gentleman's name again?
Mr. Gilbert?
The gentleman from Public Works.
I normally speak with Mr. Gilbert.
Mr. who?
Gilbert.
Well, tell him again because I will call back again. Because people are concerned. It is damaging their vehicles underneath. And it increases the risk of an accident. And as you say, we don't want any. Now, I don't know how you all manage when people are encouraging excess consumption of alcohol. And add to that, the functions finish late. You don't think they should just sleep off in the vehicle before they drive off?
They should get a designated driver.
Yeah.
Eh?
They should get a designated driver or pool
But
with
the
persons
designated drunk and everybody drunk. Because everybody went to party.
If Ubering was legal, they could hire Ubers. But
Well, you want to get the Uber numbers on the
no, that's what I said. Ubering don't happen in St. Kitts no more because we realize it's not legal. But if it was legal, this is a problem that it could solve.
Yeah, because I am saying, while you're saying designated, they're drinking and it's a matter that some drink more than some. Because it the accident in Nevis, the chap was thrown from the vehicle. I said to myself, how many times have you said you must buckle up?
Yeah.
How many times? And the motorbikes, how many more times must you say, wear a helmet? So, Mr. Gentleman at Public Works, please do something. If you got to just throw in something in it. In the meantime, do something. Do some work on Pond Road, especially down in the Neverson Street East area, going on by the fire brigade. All right, then. Thank you very much for hearing me.
Thank you so much.
Incidentally, on the weekend, I had a discussion with a friend who actually told me, you need to speak to the inspector on Monday about those potholes on Pond Road. And there's a few other places. There is a it's not a pothole exactly. It seems as though they were doing some excavations in the area between solid waste and the other side of the road, whatever they were doing, and they haven't refilled it. So sometimes I'm driving home and I was like, oops, and I think I forgot like two or three times. So I'm driving along there by solid waste, and I was like, oh my God, I forgot that thing is there.
So you're not focused when you're driving there?
No, it's not that. It's not that.
Inspector, you've caught him.
You're not focused.
Yeah, but someone
There's
said.
also
I believe he was on his cell phone.
No.
Like the DPP
No.
has forms, just put
No.
in name.
No.
If he
You'll get some
actually,
traffic
he said
offense
he'd forget.
forms.
Yeah.
So he wasn't focused. He was thinking
Probably his mind was
No, but
somewhere
then on the weekend there were all these trucks too. That was the other thing too. There were all these big trucks going along Taylor's Range. So a lot of the times
He's putting up his defense officer.
No, but it's true. There's also another really deep pothole on the Anchorage side of coming out of Anchorage. On the western side of the strip. The hole has to be at least a foot deep.
Well, there's one when you're coming out from Frigate Bay to go around by the new development. That one you mean?
New development, that's right.
Okay, they're building something just in front of where we have what is the development called? There's the white apartments that have always been there, right there. So as soon as if you're on the left side coming up Rock Lobster, the white apartment area, there's a big hole there. Yeah, just after St. Christopher Club. Yeah, my husband dropped in there the other night with me.
Wow, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, now we know it's not you, obviously.
Yeah.
But hopefully the people in Public Works are listening.
I find being on the radio in this segment does make me feel like a mandatory reporter. Because the other day I was driving. Michelina don't drive public, or I never see me drive. But I do have a license, Inspector. That was the last time, maybe like 15 years ago, I drove.
Otherwise, lock her up.
And that was it. But I do have a license. I use it for national identification.
Wait, we do? Okay.
So you constantly renew it.
Of course, it's good ID.
But not for driving.
And anyways, I saw somebody pull up by the police station. It was actually an officer, and they didn't indicate that they was going to stop. And this is me. Wait till I go on the station. And so I think this is a good space for the public to engage, to speak to the inspector. And she does such a brilliant job of bringing the concerns of the whole country. Main think we understand the gravity of the task that we give to her. We give her traffic.
Hello, good morning.
Caller, go ahead.
You're live on Island T.
Hi, good morning, Azard.
Yes, good morning. How are you doing?
Selenia and Kortensia.
Hi,
Ooh, all the names.
Yes.
Yes, this morning I listened, and the combination of the trio, it's a perfect storm.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
a perfect recipe, rather. But yes, the traffic talk. Good morning, traffic officer.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, I'm a taxi driver, and the three associations had written to the traffic department for a designated area, knowing that we ply our trade in the circus, and this is the season where the circus will be preoccupied otherwise. And so, yes, I was driving from the circus coming east, across Bank Street. It seems like that was the area that you have designated to the alternative parking. But considering that when the boats are put down in the circus, they would extend east on Bank Street. And preferably, if I were you, I would have designated Liverpool Row instead, because let's say that there are going to be booths on Bank Street. We will be asked to relocate again. And so initially, I think you should have some plans with the other departments, because you're just the traffic department and you're not responsible for the booths that is to be put around the Circus and Bank Street. And so that is just my take. Speaking of potholes, I received a review recently, and the lady, Sharon, she specifically asked those who would review about my PhD. All because of the pothole. We are hilarious. We have a sense of humor. And so pothole, PhD stands for pothole dodging. That will come about because our guests will commend us for our smooth roads. And by far, most of our roads are pretty much smooth. But there are some roads that you really need some looking after. And so I will say to them, we advocated for these smooth roads. It wasn't always like that. And that is where we got our PhD on the road, by dodging all of these potholes. I just wanted to show that in. Thanks for listening.
Okay, great.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for adding.
Okay, so caller, yes, Bank Street was designated for the taxi due to the fact that in the spirit of the Christmas was taking place. However, Liverpool Road will be the other designated area for the taxi, but as we progresses, you will get further information on that.
As you mentioned that, and I don't expect you to be in a position to give an answer right now, but there was a conversation, I think, where I was listening radio or a clip where a taxi driver was complaining that they have to move in order to accommodate. But the other side of the argument was that it happens all the time. The suggestion was maybe having some of the activities in the square, because the taxi operators usually are in the circus and persons would expect them. But the other side of the argument was that, well, during this time it is known that they would move.
The status quo can't be used to justify obstruction. I as a reveler, she was a hot girl in Juvenza, but I never thought about them, I honestly, I was just engaged in my own self-interest, and I just never thought about how that affected the taxi driver. As Azard said, they just disappear. You just thought they disappear to get up out your way so the band could pass. What I am realizing is that people need to feel respected, though. And when you don't have a voice at the table, that is where you get the pushback. So I don't even think we have to do something different, but if you invite them in the room and you explain to them the logistics of it, maybe they would be a lot more agreeable.
Or open to the idea.
Open to the idea. The problem, the conflict often happens when you don't have them in the room and you come out and you give them an instruction, because it has always happened. But the status quo cannot be used to justify disruption.
Let me ask a question, Inspector. Are there any kind of parking offsets, for example? You've heard the oft-repeated complaint that, it seems as though every month they put down, we're bringing in more cars and they seem to put down more yellow lines. So are there any offsets in the sense of saying, okay, we're going to relax the restrictions on particular streets with the yellow lines, given the fact that you have to make accommodation for the taxis at least for the next month? So are there any kind of offsets?
As I indicated, Liverpool Row, that's the southern side, will be designated for the taxis.
Right. So,
but all other streets, you have to comply with the traffic restrictions.
Okay. Was there
only
parking allowed on that same side for regular traffic?
On which side?
Before, the same where the taxis are going to park now on Liverpool Road.
Yeah, you could.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying. So now that the taxis are going to be there, and obviously there are lots of taxis, right? The buses are much bigger as well.
Yeah.
But
So-
those areas would be for the working taxi. Because you have some
Okay.
of us would just go and park up and leave the buses there.
Okay.
And so it would be just for the working taxi persons.
So what about those that won't be working?
They find a parking spot.
They could go down Port Zante. I know some
Exactly.
of them does be down Port Zante for the cruise ship.
Okay, fair enough. They have that spot there. I forgot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We have 4 minutes left. Inspector, we give you the last word. Do you get in any kind of public service awareness
Yes.
pronouncements you want to make?
Yes. Drivers would have recognized that Wiggly Street is blocked. That's the street, and just below us here to go up. That
By the
takes you.
cenotaph, like
No,
goes
no,
up.
no, 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 no. Right here by Port Zante, by the old
Oh,
CNC.
yeah.
Yes, between
That
between
spot,
here.
yes.
Yes.
They are demolishing the building. Presently, they are taking off the stones off the wall. So probably for a week, give and take 1 week, the traffic will be restricted. They will have turn-in trucks. So drivers, drive with caution.
Okay, because I saw that last night and I was wondering why is it blocked off because I didn't see any actual movement of anything was going on.
Yeah, they were taking out the stones.
Okay.
But as you know, I don't know if we had mentioned it, but the new judicial complex is going next door. Really nice, gorgeous, modern building and so on.
I thought it was on the Bay Road.
no.
Further down. No?
No, it's supposed to be right next there, I
Oh.
think. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be interesting. Okay.
It will definitely change the landscape.
It certainly will.
Let's wait and see.
Yeah.
Let us wait and see. Oh, Inspector, there's 2 other holes. You know, when you're coming down the Kim
PhD.
Collins highway, you know, by Central Bank, just across the road there are 2 holes right there. Remember those 2 now. Yeah.
You know, Carty has a PhD.
Bottle dodging.
So I'm appealing to all drivers. Drive within the speed limit. If you want to party, get a designated driver or have someone who don't drink, like Micheline.
Yep.
You can have her as your driver.
No.
She don't drive.
I could be like, what
Inspector, remember, she just drive once and she park up the car. She just has
She doesn't drive,
the
Inspector.
license.
She
I
just
have
have
to
a
like
license.
ID, yes.
Identification.
Don't advocate for me driving.
But it's valid though.
Yes.
It's
I'm gonna learn
valid.
to drive this year. That's gonna be one. Lord have mercy. What's that?
So then she-
But Michi,
You mean next year?
Michi, you know how to drive.
We know what you mean.
Officer, you have 2 persons on the investigation. Jamster and Michi.
I'm on the investigation. What did I do?
Remember you were talking you wasn't focused on the road.
And then they want to put me to drive.
She's the licensed driver who
I
needs
want
to
you
learn
to
to
play
drive.
our theme song and listen it carefully. You understand? You know, our theme song says so much, and you a driver listen it would bring you.
Yes.
It's. I don't
Jamster
know.
and Michelina, you could talk to me about these charges off the record.
Ambulance chaser.
2024, I'm going to learn to drive again.
Yes.
That's
You're
going
gonna
to be one
practice.
of my goals. Yes, I'm going to go back to a driving school person, with my license. Yeah.
Mhm.
And learn to drive.
At least you're being responsible.
Yeah.
You have realized. and
Can't
you're-
drive.
Mhm.
Can't drive.
Okay, it's 9 o'clock. That's going to do it for Traffic Talk, brought to you by Caribbean Alliance Insurance. And Inspector, have a great day. We
Same to
look
you.
forward to seeing you next week.
Have a marvelous
Thought I would
Monday.
have seen you drinking your tea as well, but I guess it
He
didn't.
does.
Oh,
He
it's
does have
done.
his tea.
Did he come in here for the tea?
No, he never comes over here. He
Azard.
always
No.
brings his stuff Azard.
So that don't have no taste.
I'll come for some.
He has sugar he can add.
Speeding is the main cause.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, Only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Found the sound 98.9 FM.
My granny always said prevention is better than cure. I remember this every time I think of ransomware and my business. Ransomware is a form of malware that provides criminals with the ability to lock a computer from a remote location and then display a pop-up window informing the user that it will not be unlocked until a sum of money is paid. Don't be held at ransom. Have effective and updated internet security software and firewall running before going online. Never reply to or click on links in spam emails from companies or individuals you do not know. Remember, when it comes to ransomware, prevention is better than cure. Stop ransomware. Visit getsafeonline.kn to find out more.
Hello? I'm going to have a jolly money Christmas. It's my favorite time of the year.
You're singing to yourself.
Girl, I'm heading to TDC Financial Services to get a loan in their Jolly Money Christmas loan promotion. They're offering a loan of up to $100,000 secured and up to $75,000 unsecured, which is perfect for my Christmas list because I have the house to renovate, Christmas shopping for all the little ones, travel to see my family, and then you can't forget back to school. So, I'll be having a jolly money Christmas with TDC Financial Services. You coming over?
Let's go! I'm coming to TDC Financial Service too.
Yes, this is 50.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
You're proud of your academics, physics, science, mathematics. Graduate from UE, but you don't know your history. You have a BA in education, want to educate our children about Columbus and Walter Raleigh, but you don't know your history. You know they told you that our story begins in captivity, and today we are so happy because we are free. But every tree springs from its roots, and that is.
And we are back. It's 5 minutes after 9 o'clock.
Yes.
That's a little bit of Joe from the eliminations at Spratnet last week.
But you keep looking at the eliminations at Spratnet last week, Jamson.
Yeah.
We had such a wonderful.
I'm so sorry.
The junior Calypso competition. It was
feel bad.
divided into two parts. They had the primary, 5 persons participated, and they had the secondary, which was the secondary school students, and if I'm remembering correctly, up to 15 persons participated in that.
16?
I think 16, maybe it was 16, yeah. So when you had the 16 from the high school and you had the 5 from the primary school, that's 21. Yeah. So to me, that was amazing to see 21 young persons really giving a rendition and showcasing our art as Calypso is part of our culture here in St. Kitts and Nevis.
This is the first time that they would have had so many participants?
I think in a while.
And I think I haven't been to the show. I was at the show last night.
Oh, nice.
And we had Azard as a judge. I went to support my student Starboy because since I've been sitting on the bench, every day he comes and he sings to me, I'm hopelessly devoted to you. And so, in honor of his serenading of me, I asked him what he wanted from me. I thought he would have said sponsorship. That is easy. He said, come to the show. I said, Lord have mercy. But I made it. And what I loved is when he said, and it's going to be my national anthem for next year, leave me, let me talk. My voice is my power.
Oh, wow.
Literally, that was his song, leave me, let me talk. My voice is my power. And I think we should have him in studio so that he can tell us about the composer of the song. Azard, you did see his outfit? You see the jacket, Azard? He come out,
Yes.
Like a real junior Calypso king. Like in Trinidad, the Calypso show is known as the Marche Gras. So, and they come out in their suit. We have a Calypsonian from Trinidad who called Short Pants. And I remember he was very young when he came out, and he came out in short pants because that was his name. And, the elders of the art form said, no, you don't. You don't come to a tent to sing, so. And so he really took on the persona and the costume, and he used his voice, and he was walking up. And then when he going off, he kick and kice. So he was amazing. And to me, she was there in the crowd.
It was. I must say the level of performance was really high. I think he should be commended. I also think that the first run-up, the second run-up should be commended.
Who was the second runner-up?
The second runner-up was the reigning queen, I think, Princess Navia. She was actually the reigning junior monarch, if I'm not mistaken. And so he dethroned her. But I was looking at the reaction of their faces on stage, and it wasn't as though there was upset in the terms that I can't believe that, everyone, I think, for most part, there were some persons who at the end of the show were saying maybe the first runner-up should have won. But I think those top three, and I think especially the first runner-up and the one who won, I think they did an amazing job.
Yeah.
And
so, congratulations.
Something is done to the minor things that you do.
I think the winner was a better performer. He didn't necessarily had a better voice than Sandy Point, because Sandy Point was the first runner-up. And kudos to the principals, like Miss Williams. I don't know your married name. Miss Isha Williams.
The young man
was
from Sandy Point.
The first runner-up was from Sandy Point High. Miss Williams was there. She's a Christian, God-fearing worshipper. But for the love of school and for, leadership, that support, she was there cheering on her student. Then we had Mr. Bacchus, Damon Bacchus, with his bell, taking up the practice from Carlene Morton. I know Bastia High School had a line of teachers that came out, and you had the lante waving the flag. And, the teachers, you had Miss Dolphin there, who I think, regardless of where she goes, she's forever a teacher. Yeah. And so the event was really supported by education. You had the teachers, you had the parents, you had the students. Congratulations for doing all of that. And Kay Willett, I think she had a number of persons who she composed for. You could see her setting up the props. So congratulations to our reigning monarch and all the work that she did for the performers in terms of grooming them. And I said to her, how do you have time to do this when you have your show coming up? Because I wasn't doing it. But if you follow her over the week on her snaps, she was showing us and bringing us into the way that she's giving back. She's at her peak. She's still writing. She's still singing. But she is also contributing to the development and the sustainability of the art from Calypso. So congratulations, Kay. Congratulations to the principals, all the principals who contributed,
all the schools, because I was explaining to somebody it's a school competition and they were like, no, it's a carnival competition. I was like, no, carnival, they provide the band, they provide the forms, and the schools and the teachers do everything else.
And I think too
That's right.
that when the schools take ownership of it, like they did last night, I think you get a greater traction and persons do come out to support, because at the end of the day you have a person that you could identify with, you know, this person is from that school, that person is from that school, and so you have that base support. So again, I think that it was really well done. Also to the primary level, so they divided the primary from the secondary, and so we had 5 persons, and the winner, Mighty Ken, she won, and then we had the first runner-up and the second runner-up. And again, very well done in terms of performances, you know. And I always tell persons, when you're at the judges' table, especially for me, you don't always know who the winner is going to be. So sometimes you still sit there and you still await the results, because there's other persons there as well, and they have their own opinion, and their scores would differ from yours too at some time. So you really have to sit there and see whether or not, you know, and then based on the fact sometimes you have, again, a top 3. And we may all have top 3s, but Michelina's top 3 might be, the order might be different to your order, different to mine. And so when you see, okay, then at least the top 3 are there, you feel comfortable that, you know, okay.
You're judging what's good.
So again, kudos, and again, as Michelina indicated, seeing, you said Miss Independent, I saw her too. I don't even realize Isam Kamal was there as well.
Yeah, they were very friendly. Isa Kamal, he was also very generous. We know that he is a Stormer cheerleader, the Bastia High School. So wherever he can contribute to the development of the performing arts with the Bastia High School, he's always there and available. We had Tarek Drew.
But you know what I found really good though is that Issa Kamal, Miss Independent, they were assisting. I think perhaps maybe the same person, perhaps, I don't know, because I only go in based on what I was looking at, not that I know in depth, but they appear to have been.
She did tell me she was writing
assisting,
for some. Yeah, she did tell me she was
but
writing
the
for
fact that
some.
Issa Kamal and Miss Independent, they're competing this year, but still working together.
Because Bastia High School is their alma mater, so they have a common interest to support the creative and the performance of that high school. It's like, this is our baby, we came here, principles not men. Men are the motto. Please.
Principian and hominis?
I'm a cat. But
you almost had me there, you know.
I'm a wildcat without a home, like I'm a comrade without a king. But so I'm learning that school's culture, and it is the school has a lot of challenges. The Bastia High School, I don't know how they shut up and continue to work. You know, I've just been there for a short time, and I'm like, this can be a problem. I think about this with Michelina, but the way that they continue to show up and achieve excellence is beyond me. Like, those teachers deserve a national award, like all of them. The whole staff time, the education staff, the way in which they're able to make do in their circumstances, come together and produce excellence for the Ministry of Education, the education sector, and the nation. Like, they just have like fundraisers and night walks, and they're in a really hard predicament. The school situation is uncomfortable. The physical environment is uncomfortable. But they show up. It's just so... They are... If the Ministry of Education gave a resilience award, it should go to Bastia High. And I know there's a primary school in the country as well without a building. So they're in some kind of community center thing teaching, which...
Molyneux area, the... Obadiah.
The Joshua Obadiah. So teaching without a proper physical environment is problematic. For me, I would just sit down. But they stand up, they teach, they raise children, they produce cultures, and to be able to produce victory like this is amazing. I'm very impressed by Joshua Obadiah Basia High School and the Sadler's High School.
Nice.
Sadler's High School was one of those high schools, I would say, which was the underdog. And so just to come from the back, and they've been winning and putting themselves out there, kudos to those leaders. All the high schools are doing really good, but we know these high schools and junior high school, because of the amount of challenges that they have to overcome. Sadler's High School is seeped in a community that needs support. They need a lot of support for a lot of reasons. And because they need a lot of support for a lot of reasons, to see them bring wins to the community and to the children and to the family is round of applause.
Yeah. They've been doing good.
Yeah. So guys, there has been two. I know, Michelina, you attended it was a public talk. It was a public forum.
Press conference, I think.
Press conference.
They had a nice poster.
And it was with the Office of the Integrity Commission.
The Office of the Integrity Commission, yes.
Okay.
And I stand to be corrected when I say the things that I say. I ask for grace in terms of my interpretation and correct calling of certain things. I'm open, but it was under the good governance agenda, and we know the good governance agenda has 5 different acts: the Anti-Corruption, Whistleblower Protection Act, Freedom of Information, Unauthorized Disclosure of Official Information, and the Integrity in Public Life Act. So these are the 5 acts that make up the good governance agenda. And so I went to the press conference because we were on air talking about the amendments, but I had not read the full act, and I thought we received some criticism on air for misinterpretation of the act or misinterpretation of the intent of the act. So I went to avail myself to learn and to be in the environment.
Let me say the two that I was very clear with my stance on it. So
Azard, you don't need a disclosure. You're just talking for me.
Okay, then maybe. I just want to make that point abundantly clear.
So when I went to the press conference, I asked a question, and the question I asked is regarding the Integrity in Public Life Act. And I said, if and how is the Integrity in Public Life Act pertinent to aspects of integrity beyond outright corruption, for example, neglect of duty and or abuse of power? If and how is it pertinent to public office holders beyond elected officials, such as directors of statutory bodies, CFBC, we all know I love CFBC, ZIZ, or NHC, directors and permanent secretary and other senior officials in public office? I think that the office of the AG and the commissioners, though they have an intent to create public awareness, for me what they're doing is taking a very singular approach to the public in terms of its anti-corruption is about money, it's about prohibiting theft and bribery. So I took some time because the Attorney General gave us all his word that the acts would be available on SKNIS before the day was finished. They were not necessarily available to the public easily, although they had already been gazetted. And having my phone, because my computer crashed, I had to go to the Law Commission, because even though they were put up on SKNIS, as the Attorney General said, if you check the links, they're still not accessible. You have to put in something and put in something. So I would like for the Office of the Attorney General with SKNIS to check that out to make the laws a lot more available. When I asked these questions, the Attorney General, he said to me, and please go and look at the press release because his answer is there. He said the Integrity in Public Life Act really has to do with money, which I think was wrong because as a student of English, I know the definition of integrity is not singular. So even if that is the agenda of the office to publicize the intent and the action of the act that way, I think to lead the public to think that using the public's purse, the common purse for an act that doesn't necessarily serves everybody's purpose. And when I say, yes, anti-corruption and corruption affects everybody, but when you read the Integrity in Public Life Act, it acts as a protector for those of us in public service. Industrial relation is a thing where abuse of office, neglect, maladministration is pervasive.
Question. Wouldn't you say that in matters of maladministration, corruption, in a sense, what he was saying is that generally when you follow the money, that's usually the root of a lot of misfeasance, malfeasance, corruption. I think that's what he was saying in a roundabout way.
But for me, what I want...
Well, not so roundabout, really.
What I want for us to understand is when you are going to throw a party and pontificate, because that's what I felt they were doing. I went for two main reasons. We have callers that say when they go to these events held by the government or held by the government, they don't feel heard. We had the clip with Ika and the man and Mr. McMahon saying the Prime Minister should address a voter because he comes to the conversational flow and you should not tell him, don't. So I went for the experience of myself so it's not secondhand. And it is true, when you go to these events, it's not about service to the citizen. It's about pontificating and hearing themselves glorify themselves, and we are to clap for the good job that they are doing. It is not service oriented because if you actually study the law, it is so structured in a way that the ordinary person can use it for their defense, because when I asked go ahead.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, caller, go right ahead.
Good morning. Peace to you and everyone.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. What I would like to say is I would assume you would have heard this morning from Prime Minister Gumbs. I just want to say here, I appreciate what he would have done, him and his team, and everybody who would have communicated and asked for peace and dialogue between the two presidents of Venezuela and Guyana. And if you're careful, they are now on the verge of going having.
Yeah, we'll get into that later down. We do have it as one of our topic items. We're gonna.
And I just want.
Yes.
I just want to say that I'm so happy myself, along with other persons, who are calling for peace. Because you know what, my friends, sometimes when there's a need, having it for peace, but as Gumbs have mentioned, I'm coming from a policing background. You know, even if you have a riot, let me put this: even if you have a protest, peaceful protest.
Okay.
There will always be persons who get involved.
Carlo, what we're going to do?
I'm going to finish now.
Yes.
Second?
No, go ahead. I just don't want us to lose the essence of what we were talking. Yeah.
Okay. Even when you have a peaceful protest, there's always a group of people, a small minority, who get inside with criminal intent and cause a peaceful protest to turn into a riot. And I'm so happy that a lot of persons were calling for the leaders to meet and to have peace. Because sometimes what people say sometimes kind of influence certain things. But a peaceful word, as the scripture was said. And you know what I am so happy about that? In his speech, he mentioned about the Bible and the prophets and so on and talk about peace. And you're always best to sit down and talk. And I'm so happy.
So thank you for your contribution.
See a peaceful and dialogue lane between the two leaders.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I just want to continue to emphasize for peace in our region and between Venezuela and Guyana.
Okay, thank you.
God bless us all.
Yes.
Thank
you. Yes.
So as I was saying, the press conference from my perspective came off as they were having a party for themselves where the masses gathered to listen to them as they pontificate about the great job they were doing, and we were supposed to clap for them. But what is it for? That is a question that I've been trained to ask. If you're going to be creating awareness, amending this law, actioning the law, what is it for? And I found from the table, I got a very singular perspective. And when I asked about integrity in public life, I got an anti-corruption response. And the question I asked was, if and how is the Integrity in Public Life Act?
Okay, we have another caller. Caller, you're live on LNT. Okay. Caller?
Okay, none at the moment.
Okay, and so how is it pertinent, for example, to neglect of duty and or abuse of power?
Oh, we have a caller. Caller, you're live.
Hey, morning, guys.
Hi, caller.
Hey, morning.
Be brief, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, morning. Yeah, and yes, ladies, we would love to see more of you all on the program at mornings.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, and Carl Brown here. What I want to touch on is if you are listening inside the news and that held on Saturday, I am calling on the Attorney General to clarify for us how is it the special prosecutor is still what he is in the court.
You mean the DPP?
The DPP. He cannot have that, and he needs to come quickly and change that, because it's like the DPP is the judge and the lawyer. How could you be the special prosecutor and still the DPP? That is conflict of interest. And right away, we don't have corruption start here, and we just passing a lot about corruption.
Well, I wouldn't go that far and call it corruption. We have a, as maybe you could explain that. You're the lawyer.
Well, yes, I'm gone, guys. I'll be back with the other topic.
Okay.
Okay, so I just want to get to this
Yes.
very quickly.
Sure.
So regarding the Integrity in Public Life Act, I stood and I asked, if and how is it pertinent to aspects of integrity beyond outright corruption, for example, neglect of duty and or abuse of power? And these things happen a lot in the civil service. For example, a charge is brought against you and you write the board, CFBC, SCELEC. They don't write you back. They don't acknowledge. That is maladministration. That is abuse of power. And that is what I wanted from the AG and the commissioners. How do we use this act for the common good, because it uses the resources of the common purse? And they are messaging it as a bulldog for politicians, parliamentarians, and public figures to stop anti-theft. I don't think we're having a wide enough conversation about the code of conduct for persons in political offices. A lot of us experience abuse. We don't always have the money to get the best lawyers to defend ourselves. But when we have an understanding of the law and where to go to, even when you have the money, you could guide your lawyer, you can work with your lawyer, and you can defend yourself. I don't think that the good governance agenda is being connected to the everyday life and the everyday access to fairness of the ordinary man. And it is very important for us. We'll take a call.
Good morning, folks.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes. I understand Michelina's point very clearly. And, I too had concerns about making sure that it's not narrowed into that integrity is not...
it's not one-dimensional.
Narrow, right. It's not one-dimensional. It's not narrow. It's not a narrow definition. And at least, I think, right, I'm not sure if it was your question, but the Attorney General was forced into making distinctions between maladministration, misconduct, and corruption. Okay? And the hope is...
I don't think he answered my question correctly, but I'm going to give him some grace and say he didn't hear me properly because it was Commissioner Knight who had to correct him when I asked the question and speak to the code of conduct. And all that I'm saying is on the record because I went there prepared to ask my question, but all of us were not equally prepared.
Well, I wondered actually how you were received in terms of... because
it was very hostile, but
really
you know I'm here for it.
And I actually did call the Attorney General's office, asking if it was open to the public, and they promised to get back to me. The person who answered promised to get back to me.
Well, I sure.
Before 4 o'clock on Thursday, and they never did. Okay, but so I was wondering how. You went there as
a civil servant, a good teacher. May went to represent nobody but Michelina.
Okay. I just wondered how you were received. But generally people don't like to turn up uninvited. But what I liked about the whole press conference was the DPP, Director of Public Prosecutions, because he essentially served notice on people, okay, on everybody, right? That he's not there to make any friends, he's there to do his job. And that, I think, inspires some hope that the legislation, the suite of legislation, would at least be able to advance this whole idea of integrity in public office. Because we know that we've had these suites of legislation before, and people get away with all kinds of things. You still have all the allegations and so on, okay? And I don't think the officers and officers were, I don't like to use the word aggressive, but certainly robust enough in their, muscular in doing their jobs. And so a lot of things were allowed to slide. But the hope is that now that we have at least one official there who is prepared to take things to their just conclusions, that at least the others would kind of buck up and do their jobs, man. I got the impression, for instance, that the tone of the Integrity in Public Life commissioners, it was too passive and timid, right? A position like that, the benefit of the doubt should be given to the public, not to the offending or possibly offending officials.
And Mr.
Because we know what they do in the past.
Mr. McMahon, I didn't have enough time to research, but the Nevis Island administration went and did some things. 3 things they put in place that made almost tied the hands of the Nevis Island integrity in public, good governance agenda, integrity in public act. The commissioners spoke to it. And so when the politicians and parliamentarians declare their assets, in Nevis you actually have to take it. You have to take it as truth. And so recently, the Nevis Island administrators went in to the assembly and basically turn up the commission on the head. And we ain't hear nothing from St. Kitts. And it's a federal government. And I also had the question if the Honorable Mark Brantley, because he's a member of parliament in St. Kitts, if he also has to declare in St. Kitts, because he did some things to prevent declaration and, the proper functioning of the commission in Nevis. But how does he have to operate being a member of parliament in St. Kitts? Does he have to declare here as well, or is he exempted and has the covering of what the administration did in Nevis?
Really and truly, I felt it should have been one commission. that governs all parliamentarians, regardless of which island they came from, right? But at least the Nevis commissioners serve notice on the NIA, the people in office in the NIA right now, because they basically said that they were pretty pointed. They actually called what you just described, called it stupid.
Yes, he did say it was stupid.
Yeah, right, and a regressive step. So we'd like to hear what is going to be the outcome of. That's the kind of muscularity I've been talking about. Don't say, well, they haven't given us power to do this. Advocate for the power to do your job.
And those are the conversations I think that the public deserves to hear.
Right. And somebody asked a question there about what it is for the ordinary person, which I think the Attorney General answered.
I think that was ZIZ. ZIZ asked the question, how does the good governance agenda affect the ordinary person? And that is what I wanted to hear. How does the code of conduct?
I think he did, because I got a chance to listen some of it, not all of it. I did say I would try, but I didn't get a chance to listen all of it. But when ZIZ was asked and that question came up, he spoke about, again, the monies, and again, where it is that public officials doing corrupt practices as it relates to monies, then it is that somebody else, some other ministry or can't be provided those monies to do what they need to benefit the people.
I hear that, but I don't take it as sensible, because there must be money for the people. That is the point of governance. The point of governance is not to have a big stick for the politicians and the parliamentarians. The definition of politics is to take care of people. That is priority number one. And that is what I think we are missing. The priority number one is care for the people. And we assign leaders to create solutions to care for the people and to manage the resources. It is not number three. And so the ordering of the priorities is the problem. You can't tell me because Susie thief social security money, there no money for social development.
But
people are the number one resources.
I was just telling you, summarizing his answer.
And it could only be that.
His answer to that.
I was there, and that is why, because just being an English major, I understand the epistemology of the word integrity. I understand the morphology of the word integrity, the phonology of the word integrity. So if I asking you a question, I have all of this information.
Let me ask you, you've been to the press. You were there in person. Okay. We'll take a short break and come back.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put your Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, make me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. Here a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink responsibly.
Merry Christmas from Rams, the good food people. Jingle bells, the hours are bright. Shopping at Rams is a true delight. Stock your pantry, spread the cheer. $50,000 of groceries for a year. Fruits and veggies, treats or sweet. Rams, the good food people can't be beat. The joy of giving with better prices in every aisle. Our team preparing. Fill your cart this holiday season and shop with Rams and win $50,000 in groceries for a year. Terms and conditions apply. See in stores for details. Happy holidays!
And we are back. It's 9:40. Don't forget, coming up at 10 o'clock, we have Money Matters. And the good doctor is going to be in the studio, in person.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, guys, before we went to the break, because the integrity in public life, it has been a piece of legislation that was discussed years before it was even passed. And even after passing and having safe passage, amendments were done to the point that even if you look at the schedule to the people who are affected, first it was very wide and then it was reduced. Michelina attended the press conference that they had on the good governance. Of the three of us, she was the only one there in attendance, and I have not had the opportunity to look at all of it. I saw some, so I could have highlighted the ZIZ aspect. But Michelina, you being there, as a citizen of the Federation, did you leave there any more informed and appreciative of the agenda that is being undertaken?
No, and no, because I'm an English teacher. I know we peddle the myth that we're 98% literate and everybody could read, but comprehension is a area of literacy that not a lot of us have. And as an educator, what I found was poor was that, again, I got there, I asked a question. Before my question can be acknowledged or even answered, everybody at the high table needed to pontificate. And it just felt like they set a table before themselves to celebrate themselves and hear how smart they are and to hear how good a job they were doing. Were they using language that is accessible to the public? Were they using a language where the common man could understand? No. I can't even put that exercise in front of a 5A1 or 5A2 classroom and they understand. So that sort of lack of connection to the public and what the law should be used for.
Okay, we have a caller. Caller, you're live?
No, they'll probably call back in a minute.
No problem.
I want us to be able to, when we are putting these laws together and when we are throwing parties for ourselves, ask ourselves, what is the law for? How do we serve the common good and the common man when we are using the resources of the common purse? It is very much being marketed as a soft, big stick approach to prevent bribery and fraud and finances, but it has so much more element that the common man could use as self-protection in industrial relation.
Okay, let's take
we have a caller.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Miss Filino,
Yes, darling.
you know that you was a supporter of the party.
I am.
But sure,
A different
you're
kind, but
defending
I
poor people just like me. I was a big Pam. And all the Pam people, them, if they catch me, they do me like my friend, Dr. Hobart, who was a real Pam. I'm first, I must tell you.
But Jamdang, I'm a Pam and you and I talk and we get along well.
Yes, but you don't know the vicious one them out there.
So it's not all Pam
secretive,
then?
you know.
It's
Not
not all.
just Pam, you know, all the political parties. I mean, Labour too, and the vicious, the growing mass. They only come and show their colors when Labour in power. But when Labour out of power, they step back. And let small people carry the cars, you know. But Michelino, what I want to tell you, he's a young, smart girl. I love your father. I know your father. We're very good. God bless he remains up in the cemetery. You know, they're going to come at you. They're going to try everything to bang you down.
That's okay.
They're going to try everything. They don't want to hear you. You know why? You is a poor people defender.
In the name of Jesus.
They're bad, you know. Michelina, they're bad. Okay, I want to set a jam store. Please, for the remaining of the season, invite all the panelists. It's healthy.
No,
and we need healthy discussion to get to these stupid young people out there.
That is
I have
the
to say
Jamdang,
so because
before
some
you
of them
go.
too stupid.
Jamdang, that is the plan. We have already discussed it. That's the plan to have
Okay.
as far as possible.
One more thing
all
before I
three.
go, I want to say, Azard, I hope they could weed out some of them deadly
vicious. Ain't no good people around, Pam. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.
I just want to get into the code of conduct that I think should be amplified a little bit more. I just wrote down 2. For example, number 6, a public official shall be honest and impartial and efficient and shall perform his or her duties to the best of his or her abilities with skills, fairness, understanding, having regard only for the public interest and relevant circumstances of the case.
Okay, we have a call. Michelina, hold on. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, good. Yes, guys, Carly again. Madam Michelina, where in St. Kitts Nevis are you going to find that politician or that person in government service that this law applies to? Where is that person?
I think all of them, like all of us, are subject to it. Not teachers, though. Income for teachers.
Yes, they are subject to it. But where are you going to find one of them? You hear what you say? CNS. That ain't going to happen there. That's only a word for us.
But it is important that the public knows what the act is really for and how it can be used. It is fair to say that we're not going to read it, but the act in its length and its breadth must be explained so that the common man can use it for his defense, because it is being built upon and amended and furnished by the common purse. So how does it apply to me?
Yes,
and it can't just be, if you stop Peter from thieving money, I'm going to have money for my well-being. Your responsibility is to make sure my well-being is taken care of. That's why you took office.
Mm-hmm. That is good. The word is there, and we're glad that that word is there, but it's just a word. Because here, if you and I have to bring forth any information that these people are what we say lying or withholding worth and value and properties that they had, when we reach in the court, you know what they're going to come with? It's a technicality that we found that Mr. Brown did not bring forth, and the matter is thrown out. The high-ranking official win on a technicality.
But
So
we still have to
is just the
challenge.
other word.
They ain't gonna win all the time on a technicality. We still have to challenge. And another code of conduct is a public official shall not act arbitrarily to the detriment of any person. And arbitrarily, like I am a victim of me like her. She disruptive. She don't listen to nobody. That is arbitrary. You cannot act upon me because you don't like me. And we have a lot of persons who are victim to that. I have like 15 targets on my bench for on my back. For over 6 weeks, I sitting down on a bench.
So Michelina is talking about the integrity in public life, Section 4, Schedule 2, which the second schedule which speaks about the code of conduct, Part 1, and the general principles.
And that is what I find the commission has a greater responsibility.
So you're saying they should be highlighting more so
how the common man can use this act to his defense.
And you're looking at the code of conduct.
Yes, the
and
code
to
of
hold
conduct.
the officials.
Public official, because I know persons, you write for your vacation to the board and the board didn't answer you. That's maladministration, but you don't feel like you have a defense because you don't know how your rights is protected in the law. A lot of us work for organizations, ZIZ, NHC, and they're doing as they please because they're party in power. My good Labour Party.
So you're saying it is more than just money aspect.
It's more than just.
It's about the discipline of and the code of conduct
for
public
all
officials.
public officials.
Okay, guys,
And
let's take this call.
within the act as well, it says this code of conduct. Listening.
Good morning.
This code of conduct forms part of every terms of employment of a public official and shall be observed as terms of agreement. So once they're in the office, putting a teacher to sit down on a bench without professional structure, without fairness of a hearing is maladministration.
Okay, let's take this call. Caller, go ahead.
Good morning, Jamstown. Good morning, Azard.
Good morning.
And good morning, Michelina.
Good morning, politics.
Michelina,
And don't forget Kortensia.
Kortensia is here as well.
Who?
Kortensia, that's we good one. She's the good-looking host.
Candace, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good morning, Candace. Good morning. Now, Michelina, I want to commend you as a strong, black, open-minded woman.
A good labor woman is labor, Abby.
Yes, a good...
An enlightened one, she says.
I believe that as an open-minded woman in this country, and you follow that trend, I believe in the future, you could be our next prime minister in this country. Because let me tell you something. It takes strong woman like you to come on to talk when we're speaking. You know? Everybody know you're a labor. You're a labor. You're a labor. Come on, you ain't singing it. You ain't shunning from it. But you're speaking the truth. And I wish that Sylvie Henry was younger in age. Because you and she could have made two great politicians in this country. I believe you and she could have made two great politicians in this country as female. Because, Michelina, every time you open your mouth and any different radio program, you always sound constructive, especially with the youths. I listen to it, I don't really call in much thing, with the youth beat. I don't know you all have you all a little funny.
Okay, Mr. Politics, you don't have much time, so wrap
I want
up.
to commend you again. And I want to commend the Island TV and we show you the balance of the old year going into the new year. And I want to wish you a Merry Christmas when you come. May God bless all you.
Okay,
great.
great.
And continue to do the good work.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Politics. We appreciate you. And I want to extend congratulations to the Commission. Mr. Knight was able to correct the Attorney General with reference to the Code of Conduct, and the Ombudsman was very generous to speak to what he does and the amount of cases and matters that he would have received after the office would have been closed for an extended period of time. We see you. We acknowledge your work, brilliant Commission. Everybody there seem like they have a law degree or training of such. Thank you for doing the work. However, it is the responsibility of the public to hold you accountable for doing the work that serves us in a way that we want to be served and a way that we can benefit from use and functionality of the public purse and the public resources.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, as we wind down, I want to say thank you to those persons who called in, those persons who shared their opinion. We were not able to get to the Guyana-Venezuela update as it relates to communication between leaders and persons outside Guyana and Venezuela. And then when I say persons, I mean in terms of organizations as well that are calling for an amicable and a resolution of that is a peaceful one. Yeah. So I guess tomorrow we could go into that. I want to thank the caller who mentioned it, the Venezuela, Guyana, but unfortunately at that time we were still discussing the conference, the press conference, and of course the point that Michelina has taken when it comes to the integrity in public life, looking at the code of conduct, yes, which oftentimes is not highlighted as much as it should be in relation to that specific act. It's actually Section 4 of the Act, the Code of Conduct, and you could find it in the second schedule, Part 1, the responsibilities of public officials as it relates to those guiding principles.
Service.
Even as Michelina would have said, it's always good for the law to be there, but it makes it better that it's broken down in a way that the simple man can understand it and use it to his defense. Yeah. So, yeah, we need that.
Well, guys, join us, same time, same place, and hopefully the three of us tomorrow. Hopefully.
Big smiles from Michi. That's all I said. Big smiles from Michi. Big smiles.
Yes.
Thank you for listening. Have a great day, St. Kitts and
Keep the microdosing going.
Yes. You realize Kortensia is really neutral. She has.
She is the independent voter, and we need that voter.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put a magnum in a